Hello, Taurus. Welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. I hope you guys are doing well. So, you're going to start off the November reads, Taurus. Lucky you. I hope you guys are hanging in there. Taurus, I'm going to do a bit of a different spread for this time around. Quick thank you, as always, to those of you who have subscribed, tuned in, like the videos, share and comment. Your support is greatly appreciated. Personal reads are open and available. Information can be found in the description box below, the About section of the page, or you can go to holisticallyzenwv.com. So this will be, Taurus, for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus. I will say with this eclipse coming in here this weekend, to check out your sun, your moon, and your rising as well, because they're all going to probably be impacted or impactful in your chart. And excuse me, I am not picking my nose. My nose ring gets funky and it like pokes me. It's weird. All right, Taurus. So let's just get straight to it. Cross watcher, if this is you, welcome to the channel as well. Guys, discern the messages. Common sense stuff here all the time. So Taurus, the one thing that Spirit brought to my attention before I turned the camera on was that it's going to be about the production of your work in the month of November. And I'm going to say, it's uploading right now. I did a video this morning about talking about different energies and what that means for us. So with that, the production of your work, I want to say, could be very much self-involved. How much work you're doing, and I got the goosebumps already. What is it that you're working on for yourself? What is the realization of certain aspects of yourself that you're coming into? This lunar eclipse can be the catalyst for those changes that are needing to take place. Taurus, I feel like it's almost a sweeping away energy of whether this is a particular part of yourself or people in your life. But it's kind of like learning to stand front and center in your own world. Really trying to take the bull by the horns in some ways. Finding a more specific course of direction. So we'll see how this plays out for you, okay, as we do this 222 on the clock. So maybe that's a number that you're seeing quite a bit of. Let me see. I'm always kind of winging it. That's kind of like my MO. I wing it. I actually think we're gonna take these cards instead of these other ones. I was going through some decks today and getting things organized. I did not realize how many tarot decks I had. I'm like, holy crap. So, need to, but yet I feel like I need more. If you guys are into tarot yourselves and, you know, reading the cards or playing with cards, maybe some of you are looking at getting some new decks right now as well. All right, for Taurus, space. And that's kind of the energy that I got tied to your card with this. I'm going to tell you a little bit of what I told Scorpio, I think it was mid-month. It's a precipice of a new emergence for you. I think you could be taking a pause. I feel like even if you are pausing when it comes to external sources in your life, you're taking a time out for you, and much needed. And they're talking about 2 weeks, maybe the first 2 weeks of November, or up to the 17th of November is what they're showing me. The 17th could be a very important day for you of November. But I feel like you are kind of taking a step back, and Spirit is saying revising your goals. We'll see. We'll see what comes up. Let's see. Preservation, yeah, and that's space. You know, you are, could be, you know, we'll use the word preserving yourself right now. You're incubating something new. This, as much as this is the death card to me in this particular deck, it's also significant to me of where was I going with this? Just left my mind. Fertility, that's the thing I was going for, because with every death there is a rebirth, right? So the fertility of what it is you're planning on birthing into the new. There's a little bit of shock surrounding maybe decisions that you're making, or what it is that you are coming into an awareness of, that 444 on the clock, that as you explain or put out, I don't want to say explain, but maybe you tell somebody, this is what I'm doing, and they're like, you're doing what? what do you mean? You know, so there could be a little bit of a shock factor there, because you're making some sort of massive change that other people may not be in agreement with. And then we have perspective. You are shifting your perspective. I will say to you, Taurus, too, some of you could be preparing to give birth, literally. Others of you, if you thought that you weren't going to be able to have children, you know, and please discern accordingly when I say these kinds of things, you know, think big picture. If you ever had doubts about having children, that may be coming into fruition in the near future. But I'm seeing this incubation of a child and then stepping into the growth of that child, the womb. And it's funny, I was thinking about some other things this morning, and that specific word and being an archetype as well also came up for me when I was thinking about some other things. So to see this here now, I'm not surprised, but it is the birthing of a new life. It could be a birthing of a new way of working, a new way of addressing yourself and caring for yourself, nurturing and loving yourself, Taurus. I don't really feel, you know, if we're looking in the aspect of love, I don't really feel anything so much attached to you as to what it is that you are creating for yourself. So for Taurus, absence. I don't know why I want to go along with the realm of children, but some of you could be doing this alone. You know, if you're having children, you could be finding yourself, you know, an unsupportive kind of partner or situation to that effect. And then Taurus too, whatever journey you are taking feels to be alone. Like you may feel that you don't have the support from the other people around you right now that you would like to have had this support from. I feel like some people, and I'm hearing the word milking, this is wild, they could be milking your energy. They could be milking or trying to milk, you know, off of you in some capacity, or, you know, and I'm also going to say this could be the other way around. And I talked about, you know, revisioning, you know, reestablishing your life, or however I just worded it. And there's the revision card on the bottom with this Taurus. This absence could be an absence within the heart space as well. It's something like you're trying to kickstart a new way of life. You're trying to kickstart the loving energy, the compassion, the heartfelt space within you. Could be testing the waters to see what it is that you're being drawn to at this time as well. And with that, it's like the thing about this is, with this absence too, is I don't know that if you have a clear vision. You may have an idea surrounding something of what it is that you're trying to create or what it is you want to do. You may not feel that you have the support, and you may not have a clear vision as to exactly what's coming next, or maybe you feel like you don't know, right? The unknown. And we've been dealing with a lot of that unknown energy the last couple of months, and it's going to continue for some time now, and moving forward. But I do think that you recognize that something, Spirit, Spirit just put it very, very vaguely, that something within you is shifting. And that's very obvious here. And thank you, Spirit, for that. But it's like you're being drawn into something else. You may not know why. You may have thought the way you were doing things, or what it was you were investing into, that was going to be your way. That was going to be how life was going to unfold, an expectation perhaps tied to something of that nature. But I don't think for you, Taurus, that this is going to stay. It feels like whatever this has been leaves you feeling stuck most often. So whatever it is, you know, for all of you, it's going to be very different. So let's dive in, because I'm going to do these a little differently than I usually do. I don't know, I just felt drawn to make some changes here for you guys this month coming up. Five of Cups and the Queen of Swords. It's funny to say it this way. Spirit has just addressed it. It's like clarity through the confusion, and still like you're getting clear through the confusion, getting clear on the losses. I feel like for some of you, you're being significantly redirected, and not in the way that you wanted it to be. It's kind of cold. You're trying to dissolve your emotions. Whoops. from a particular situation, and with that, Spirit just said there's a split. You know, I talked earlier about, you know, this sense of pushing something away or waiting for it to go elsewhere, like, you know, being in that space by yourself. That's ultimately what I just got, is that deck did what it just did. That there's a split. There's a split between you and something or somebody else where you're going to have to make an exit. Or you could be finalizing an already existing thought to a particular situation as well. So, all right, for Taurus, please, Spirit, what does Taurus need to know for the month of November? Spirit just said let them flip over, so let's see. Yeah, thank you. It's funny. I'm going to say this to you. I pulled your card out earlier, right? Shuffled it out just to see, and then I was kind of messing around with some spreads. I'm like, how do I want to do this time around? And I just threw cards down. Didn't really read them or anything like that. I just threw them down as the example to see how I felt about it. The first card that came out was the Emperor earlier. First card to come out upright is the Emperor again. So let's see how this plays out for you guys. You know, the Emperor, he is always armed and ready to go. Two of Pentacles tried to come out. He overrules. He oversees. He's got everything in his hands that he needs. He knows how to master himself. He knows how to control himself. And the Nine of Cups comes out in the reverse. Taurus, you could feel like it's like time. What is it? Time and tested or something to that effect. I can't remember how it's said. What's tested in time is true, or something to that connotation. But in your recent past, it's like, you know, this could be lessons, right? You've tried things, you see what the results of certain things are. They did not lead to a sense of fulfillment, and there's the Empress. I think that if there was a point for you that you felt you had to exert massive control over something, I feel like this Emperor is becoming the Empress. Granted, it's like becoming your own divine counterpart in something, recognizing that doing this on your own is going to make more sense for long-term success. And that's really how this feels. Here's the kicker though, Taurus. We've got the Empress, the Six of Wands, the Nine of Wands. This is not going to happen without dedication and hard work. Spirit is bringing up the fact, even though I have no Pentacles here, about budgeting. So it's like you're going to have to go with that. You may feel like you have to go without certain things for a little while, even if you don't want to, because whatever, I'm going to call it a partnership of some sort. Too many people were vying for control of a given situation. And when you have that, too many cards, Spirit. When you have that, and Spirit just said because the love was lost. If something, whether it was a business situation, a romantic partnership, a friendship, there was a control, too many cards, but there you are, Taurus, that somebody was trying to run the controlling interest. Someone was trying to oversee or dictate something, and it left everybody in a particular situation feeling helpless, you know, feeling left out and unhappy about situations. And it's like you're gonna have to, with this absence and this revision, is to let go of that control. The Empress, she breathes life into things, as I say so often, but she's also in a space of divine flow and existence. Like it just naturally comes to course for her. And through that, she also recognizes her ability to succeed. There's a power and a confidence within her that she can sit there and look magnificently beautiful and do literally nothing. She just has to be herself. And I feel like this Emperor and this Empress, Taurus, is you, an Empress being, like you're stepping into your true natural state. You know, the wreath is success and victory. And it's having the right set of eyes on you is what Spirit is also giving me. So in the present moment, whenever you find this video, whenever you watch it, or, you know, pay attention to how November plays out for you. But one, someone else could feel wounded as a result of this. And two, you're going to have to be willing to put in the work to make something happen. I just said about the wreath, success, victory. The wreath is also the sense of completion with the world card. You could be feeling or have been feeling that someone wronged you somehow. But this cycle, as like I said, Taurus and Scorpio, right? We have been through craziness the last 18 months. This cycle was closing out in this eclipse for us so that we can move forward. This is the state of completion. And you may have had a short-term success in something that seemed to be a lot harder than you expected it to be. To see something work successfully for the long term, you were going to have to put the work into it. And whether this was you or somebody else who didn't put the work into something specifically, it's like you felt a little beat up by it. That Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior, right? Hills and mountains to climb, things to address. Taurus, there you are, the world card. Time marching on. Like, things are going to have to continue on. Spirit is saying without you in a particular area of life. And again, this could be, this could be tied to the fact that other people are not going to be real happy with the choices that you're making or why you're making those choices at this time, but you also cannot live your life for somebody else, Taurus. Let's just make that clean and clear. Page of Pentacles, Six of Swords, moving on. Maybe something had come, to a partial fruition for a little while, whatever that partial fruition is for you. Some of you could be looking at getting a new vehicle too, Spirit is saying. Page of Swords. Taurus, you are starting new. You may be exchanging emails and communication with other people outside of something that you've done in the past. So again, if you're starting a new opportunity somehow, a new partnership, some of you could be online dating. That is so random for me to hear that. Some of you could be doing some online dating or communicating with somebody. Be mindful of contractual issues right now, or at least through the month of November. Pay attention to the fine details and the fine print of situations. If you feel that something is not coming across clearly, that Five of Swords sitting at the bottom, the Moon and the Death card, you're going to need to put an end to it right away. I feel like people may be reaching out to you with whether it's their own agenda or whatever it might be. Like they see the ability to either gain somehow. There's that King of Swords again. They want to gain something from you. They think, so let's go back to if you're getting a new vehicle. You maybe go to the car lot, you take a look around, check out a few things. You leave there, you're like, maybe not, we'll see. Now they've got your phone number because they talked to you and showed you X, Y, and Z. So then they're blowing you up constantly. Maybe you had made communication with a company because you wanted to potentially work with them on something. But now they're hounding you, and it's like, I'm going to say that part of this has to do with the economic crisis that we're dealing with, Taurus, but the other part of this is also a test already from the universe after you close out this cycle. They're testing you to whether or not you've learned your lesson. Are you going to make another bad investment? So you need to think about where it is in the past 18 months, 2 years, that you've made investments into things that didn't turn out to your better benefit. And I would say even as much as 3 years ago for some of you, it just depends. And I say that, and there's the Two of Pentacles. Those the Pentacles are investments. Where are we going to invest our time and energy into? Our emotions are in this influx of energy. So, too many cards again. Spirit. The Hangman. Getting clear and having a new perspective on the way you're doing things. Five of Pentacles. Some of you could be digging yourself out of some financial turmoil for some time, or feel that you've been doing this for a while. For some of you too, caring for kids, you may have found it challenging recently in regards to situations. But I will also say that when it comes to your Pentacles, if you have been struggling financially or, with whatever it is in that regard as well, that you're recognizing that you're going to have to put in the due diligence. Again, expect to have to put in the work to make these changes occur. So whether it's like, I almost feel like some of you are going to be finagling money, time, resources. you're getting a better and clearer picture throughout November as to what it is you want to accomplish for yourself, or what it is that stands true and close to your heart. But it's like your heart is kind of like, you could be leading more so with the logical mind than you are with the heart. And you're going to have to find a balance between those two things so that everything kind of just comes together in a more equivocal way. Again, if you're dealing with a situation, I don't know why I'm being drawn back to this, but we're going back to it. This communication, this news, some of this could start to end a conflict that you may have been a part of for some time. Somebody may want to make an apology. And I'm going to say, for some of you, it could be you wanting to come in and make some kind of apology for something as well. But be mindful. It's like, to why this is happening, what the communication is genuinely for, or is it just in the moment? Because it's like, it brings an end to conflict, but yet I do feel like there's somebody else in the background still trying to stir some kind of conflict around you. So be mindful. But I do think that your viewpoint on certain things is transforming to me. 1 second. Cards are flying everywhere. So there's the 8 of Swords, and I'm gonna throw that back in the deck. Good old self-imposed restriction, Taurus. If it's meant to come out, it will come back out. So let's see. Taurus, for the future, please. The moon comes out sideways. The 8 of Pentacles. I told you, you're going to have to put in the work. I'm going to put it to you clearly, Taurus. You know, like, that's just the way I roll. And there's the Death card. For some of you, all politeness, all love, not sugarcoating shit, you don't know what you're doing. This 8 of Pentacles is like, I'm working, but I don't know what I'm working towards. There's that muddled energy of, I'm working towards something. I don't know what I'm working towards. And I think that for some of you, you just recognize that you've got to put in the work. And I'm going to say, you're going to want to make sure you're investing your time in the right things in November, Taurus, because if you're just working to work with no end goal, you know, don't tie an expectation to anything. But if you're like, I'm just going to go out and make money, and you don't have a plan for what you're doing with that money. Like, I want to do it so I can pay my bills. I want to do it because I want to save up for a new car. I want to do it because I want to take the kids on vacation next year. It's like, for as much work as you're putting in, it's like you're not, I'm trying to find the best way to put this. If you don't have an end goal in mind, or why you're leaving and going from point A to point B, somewhere in the midst of this, it's like you could just be aimlessly wondering is how this feels to me. Okay? So again, you think of it like, oh, I want to make extra money and work overtime this week. So I can put some money in my savings account. So when I get paid, that money's going straight into my savings. Well, instead of putting it in your savings, you're going to the mall, you know, and it's like, because like, if you don't have that end goal, it's like you're wasting your resources, essentially. I hope that's making sense for you guys. That's how this feels to me. But I don't think there's a clear path. And I'm going to say to you too, you may be dealing with somebody that they themselves don't have a clear path. And it's like you could be getting muddled and mucked up in their energy that's kind of derailing you a little bit. So you want to make sure you're cleaning up this eclipse, you know, as we move out of this. See where you are in the first 2 weeks of November. Make sure you're cleaning up and tidying up and making new goals as the new moon rolls around. You're really going to need to do that so that you can stay focused on what it is that you need to accomplish for yourself. So you're not wasting your time, your energy, and your resources. You're not wasting it with people who are being deceitful or challenging or just trying to take advantage of a particular situation. You're really going to have to put your focus into where it is that you go next. Because I feel like through the end of the year, that's going to be a struggle for you guys. Like, if you want to make a move, you know, your head might be in it, is your heart, or vice versa. Are you wasting resources where you should be investing into these things right now so that long-term security is going to substantiate you? So, you know, there's those things that you're going to have to address. Those are just some examples, right? It's going to be different for all of you. right, let's do a little bit of clarifying, Taurus. Let's see here. A little bit of clarifying for Taurus. I'm just going to do, I don't have the book definition, but that's okay. We don't need the book. We just need our intuition and spirit to guide us, right? All right, Taurus. I don't think this is a bad spread. This is just like a realization and awakening for you of what success in the long term looks like. And through taking some downfalls and things like that, I think you are beginning to recognize what does not bring happiness in. You understand that in order to move forward to this successful space that you desire to be in, that the control level is going to have to be toned down. Understand God's rejection is also God's protection, right? And with this Ace of Pentacles sitting over that, the Emperor and the Nine of Cups, somebody else could also, and there's that five of Wands again, with the Eight of Pentacles, somebody could have felt as they'd given you a golden opportunity. And they may have been trying to control a situation. You may have been trying to control a situation. To you, the ego could feel knocked down a peg, okay? But what you have to recognize is this was a learning experience for you, to understand that not everybody is going to see it your way. Not everybody is going to agree with how you're working and doing things. The problem with it is, and the way I feel, is like you've got two separate people working, and instead of working collaboratively, they're working against each other. So whatever that means for you, you have to work together for cohesiveness. Find a way that Spirit's saying that your goals, or you needed to find a way that your goals and visions align, but I don't think that they ever did. So the Empress and the Six of Wands, Spirit, the Devil. Temptation on short-term success. It's going to, what I said earlier, something may have ended before it ever got started. There was too much obsessive, controlling aspect, kind of puppeteering sort of energy laying beneath the surface of this particular situation. Three of Pentacles, I just talked about the need to collaborate with other people, working together rather than apart. Without the three of these people in this card working together, the end product could not show what it does at this point in this image. That may have felt very hard to do. This could also be a very big lesson for you, Taurus, in teamwork, that you can't, during that particular project or this particular phase of life, you had to incorporate other people, or that was the game plan, to incorporate other people into your world. There's too much control being exhibited, and you may be feeling that you're better off working alone. Understand that with the astrological alignments right now, we are being forced to have to work it alone, figuring out our value of who we are, where we are, and what it is that we need, rather than what everybody else is requiring of us. And it's also finding your own identity, finding out who you are. And for some of us, that can be a very difficult thing, especially when it comes to relationships and how we see ourselves, depending on what your Venus placement could be, right? Venus taught us a lot of hard lessons this year. Between the retrogrades and everything else, it was a given. And then this full moon is about those partnerships. So, even though this is for the month of November, I'm still reading this energy now. It's why I do the mid-month, because the energy is changing. We're forever shifting. Take that into consideration as you move forward, okay? Page of Swords and the Five of Wands in the reverse. Spirit, what is this? Judgment. If you've been at battle with somebody, that Judgment, I read that as karmic connections. This particular situation in regards to the control aspect and even some communication, you could feel through the communication, karma is playing out somehow. There could be news surrounding a situation that you felt was heartbreaking and disruptive to your stability. And you could feel as if somebody is coming in and trying to take that stability away from you. Again, I get this very sneaky, underhanded kind of energy, and there's that World card again. This is closing out a cycle. This is karmic, rewards. This is, I don't want to say really rewards, like what you get out, you get back in return. So you've really got to think about, as these conflicts and things are coming up, around you. For Taurus and Scorpio specifically, because of the North and South Node, we're seeing this shift occur right now. Where did our intentions sit for the last couple of years? Did you put out good deeds in order to get that in return? Did you do it just from the kindness and the genuinity of the heart? Because that's what you're going to start to see, is whatever you had put out there, you're going to start to see that come back. And karma is kind of holding no prisoners right now. If you engaged in conflict, you're going to get conflict. If you did not, then you know, you're going to be in a space to heal. But Taurus, for some of you, I'm going to say, point blank, there was a lot of fuckery for a while. And you could feel that some parts of your world could come crashing down, or have already started to come crashing down prior to this reading. So I'm going to clarify the Judgment. 7 of Cups leaving you in a sense of confusion. Certain partnerships that you had to, I would say to you, Taurus, to take a look at the choices that you made. If you had many options in the past, that Ace of Pentacles, if you had many options available to you, did you choose the right option? Again, this is you getting clear from the past mistakes of what showed itself to be unhappy or what it showed itself to bring turmoil. Did you make good choices? Did you follow sound advice? Did you listen to your higher self, or was this short-term gain rather than the long-term big picture? It's going to be very imperative. It's like a time of reflection and revision, that maybe you tried something thinking, well, this should work this way, and finding out 6 months later, or something to that effect, 6 to 8 months later, that short-term plan didn't work the way you had hoped it would. You know, it's like, well, this will work for now. Okay, but after for now, what comes next? So again, the need to reevaluate. This King of Swords and the Hangman. King of Swords and Hangman, please, Spirit. 9 of Wands in the reverse. Once you change your perspective on this, but I feel like you're holding on, definitely hanging on to, you know, this old way of thinking. It's almost like it tends to kind of creep back up and kind of want to trap you. You may feel like you sustained massive losses, but that's also like learning when to cut your losses, Taurus. And for some of you, this could be just going, okay, maybe, I don't know. You bought a Roomba vacuum. I have no idea. I don't know where the hell a Roomba vacuum came from. Maybe you have a Roomba vacuum. Maybe you spent $10,000 on this Roomba vacuum. I have no idea what they cost. I couldn't tell you. I own a Bizzle. But you spend $10,000 on it, and you continue to be nickel and dime to have to pay for this part, that part, whatever. And then finally it's like, fuck it. Like, this thing is not worth the investment anymore. I'm tired of this. It would just be so much easier to go get this $60 bagless vacuum from Walmart and call it a day and cut my losses. Not the best example, but an example nonetheless, right? So it's just like, I'm going to hold on to what I can here and let the rest go. And that's kind of this is how this feels to me, is like you're recognizing you may have walked into something with, 8 pentacles, 10 pentacles for that matter, and you're walking away with 4. It was a battle that was lost. Understand that and I think the big thing here for you to recognize, Taurus, is no matter how this is playing out in what direction of your life, you didn't fail. We don't fail, we learn. And I do think with the King of Swords and the Hangman is you're learning when to walk away from things. You have to learn when to walk away from things. Or, as always, you're going to repeat the same thing over and over and over again. But there's clarity surrounding. And with that clarity is coming a transformational moment of, it could just be almost like desperation and going, I'm tired. Like, I just don't want to do this. Like, this is not for me. I'm tired of feeling beat up every day. I'm hearing it doesn't work with my schedule. Whatever it was that you were investing into, it doesn't work. And it's like, cut your losses, move on, because you need to pick this clear direction so that you can work towards a goal for yourself that's going to transform your life and your stability. It may not be what you wanted, but it will. Spirit is saying elevate you. Thank you, Spirit. This Moon and the 8 of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles, there you are. Slow moving energy, Knight of Cups. Someone else might see these losses that you've sustained and want to, I feel like you're going to get more emotional support, Taurus, than it's going to be anything else. But you also know, and this is definitely more like a finance kind of read to me, the way I'm viewing this. It's going to be slow and steady wins the race, right? Like, where again, you had short-term projections of what it was you wanted to achieve. You're going to have to come up with the long term. And with that, you're going to have to get clear on the direction in which you're going. Because if you don't have that grand scheme, like, you know, if you want to buy a certain house in the country with nothing but chickens, and you don't want any neighbors within a 90-mile radius of you, you know, you start scoping out the land, right? You're like, where can I have a house like this? You start planning, you start manifesting, you start going, okay, this is going to be, you know, $300,000. How much of a down payment am I going to need? You start to get this clear picture about what it is that you're going to need for the long term. And it might take you a while to get there, or if you're going out on your own, it might take you a while. But if you're putting in the right work with a clear direction as to where you're going, it won't be nearly as bad. You're going to have to be flexible with the universe. You're going to have to be flexible with yourself to make these things happen. And you're going to have to get back to caring. It's almost like if you got a case of the fuck-its, it's like, I don't care. You know, I don't care anymore. You're going to have to start to care. You're going to have to work from the space of the heart that says, these are the things that I love. These are the things that I'm grateful for. This is where I'm expressing my gratitude moving forward. And you're going to have to work from that heart space. You're going to put the passion and the love into something to build it up. Okay? That Empress with the Devil, I would say to you, again, it's like short-term gain. Somebody could be coming in. I'm going to be mindful of Cancer and Sagittarius energy. I also heard Leo with the Chariot and the King of Wands there. With this Devil, this Empress, and the Six of Wands, somebody else could be coming in and going, well, what if you do it this way? What if you do it that way? It's almost like, I don't like how fast those horses are moving this time around. He's not holding the reins, but I feel like he's walking into a snake pit. So again, if like you're, you know, pay attention to who you're doing business with. King of Wands, you know, he's assertive. He can be domineering. And you take that devil energy and you mix it up with all of this. It's the temptation. It's the obsessive thoughts of short-term success. It might feel good in the moment. It might be that instant gratification, but the long term is, it gets really hard. So what is this Nine of Wands in the reverse about? Page of Cups. You know, you may feel like you're being knocked down a peg. Like I said earlier, you can be Emperor to Empress. We may see the Empress as less. They should be divine counterparts, right? We talk about the patriarchy. But you could be starting over in a learning position. You may have to learn a whole new way with the Knight and the Pages here. But this is karma. I'm going to say karma redirecting you. So you're gonna have to be very mindful about that, Taurus, as to where, you know, setting your goals, getting your plans and your visions into the clarity around you, so that you know where you're going, so you can plan accordingly to get there. I'm hearing a lot of paperwork in November, so whatever that means for you. Some of you could really truly be buying a house or be looking to physically move. Legacy of Light and collaborative dreaming. Interesting. New birth, guarded vigilante. All right, this Legacy of Light. This there may be parts of this, Taurus, that is ancestral. This is karmic. These are things that you have been pulled to open you up to a different level. If you are extremely spiritual and digging into ascend and evolve, transform, this is also personal growth, right? Through that. You could have guides and ancestors assisting you on this movement forward. If you've had a vision for a while, part of this eclipse energy could be or have been, depending on when you're watching this, they're shutting it down. They're shutting something from the past down because you're supposed to do something very different in the future for your long-term security. They've watched you grow and evolve, and I kind of feel like they see you as in between. You're stuck between the 3D world of what it is other people demand or what it is we think we need, as opposed to what we spiritually need. So it's like a spiritual evolution that's happening. So this caught up is you're trying to envision something new for yourself, and that transformation of the death card is trying to take place. You're going to have to let go of the real world, that we live in every day, and get more in touch with your spirituality. Taurus, you could be dealing with a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Virgo, Pisces again, Aries, Libra, Taurus, Sag, Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, and a Cancer again. God bless you, kitty. God bless you. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. I'm wishing you all the best in November. More readings to come. If you're interested in a personal reading, check out the website at holisticallyzenwv.com for a full list of products and services. Information can be found in the description box below, as well as the About section of the page. And if you found this video resonated, please hit that like button. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.